So I've been using various means to share files between multiple machines I have for a long time, and was always frustrated by one or another. I used this thing called SSHFS, which builds a file system that runs across SSH, and eventually that started putting zeros in the middle of my files every once in a while. I tried one thing after another.
Yeah. Where's it posted?
On the EmacsConf
IRC. Oh, okay.
So I finally decided, I wonder how hard it would be to write my own file sharing.
Oh, do you want to move over here so they can hear in the mic? Yeah.
Sorry, I figured how hard would it be to write my own file sharing system, given that we have Git, right, which makes a lot of stuff like that fairly easy. And it turns out it was 19 lines. So this is basically a save hook, an after save hook, which you can hook into your Emacs. And it just says anything in a directory that's, I set an environment variable called R to define it, so I can make it different on different machines. But anything that's saved in a directory called R basically automatically runs this hook. And all it does is it just says, commit all the changes that have happened in this directory. Just give them a message updated, right? There's no need to really have an actual commit record for it, and then push it. And I run this on both sides, and then so any file that I edit in this directory is automatically committed to Git and pushed to the other side. And if there's any problem, like the network is down or something like that, this fails out pretty quickly, and I can just keep editing. So it's as if I'm writing locally most of the time, but my files are being updated on the remote side. So I don't know, I just thought it was really cool that in 19 lines I could get something that worked more reliably than what I used before.
How do you deal with like syncing on the other side? Like, do you pull?
Yeah.
Like, just like constantly fetch and merge that direction?
Yeah, I just do git pull every once in a while. I have a MetaX git pull, and I just run that every
I
once in a
do
while.
something almost identical to this, except I just run it as a shell command, and then I just run because like maybe you wanted to run it like not in the background of Emacs or something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a little. It feels like a hack.
It is a hack. It is a hack, but it actually is working for me. Whereas these other things I tried one after another. I've never very happy using Dropbox or Google Drive or stuff like that, because it means all my stuff is going out into their servers and so on. Whereas this is just running on I have a Linode instance in the cloud, so just a Linux instance that I can save files to, and this doesn't seem to zero out my files. That's a big feature for me. So,
I was just going to say there's also Git auto commit though, which is like you set it's a minor mode and it sets an after save hook or something.
Oh, is that right?
It does whenever you save, it does a commit, and you can set it to automatically push as well.
Okay. Well, it sounds like someone else already wrote this. I wonder.
I don't. It's very similar. I use it. It's available on Delta.
Cool.
There's also GitFS, which is actually a full-blown file system. That runs over Git.
I didn't have a good experience with that.
Really?
Yeah. I like simplicity.
Curious, how useful do you actually find this Git repository? I mean, are you only using it for backing up this thing, so you only really care about head, or do you actually look at it for version control?
So, initially I thought of it as just a way of making sure my files were synced, and if things went wrong, like there needed to be a merge, then I could drop into Git to fix things. Every once in a while, though, I've made a mistake and I've been able to go back in a way that would have been a little bit harder without it. But,
so all the messages are identical.
Yeah, I can just kind of, I have a Git mode that's kind of like Magic that just lets me walk through changes and see exactly what they are, see the diffs one by one. So, a few times I've thought, did I forget to write something, or is it in there? There it is. And my theory has always been that, your Git repository will grow and grow and grow and grow, and eventually I don't really need it. So the theory is I'll just, remove the Git directory and get in it on both sides and start over every once in a while.
Just squash.
What's that?
Just squash.
Git squash? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I run. You squash all the commits.
bunch of commits and make it into one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So that's the remedy that's part of it.
So far I've just done git GC, and
Yeah, that's-
it's been good enough. Disk space is essentially free, so, but thanks. So, just a hack. That's
Cool.
all.
What if you do to break it?
What's that?
What if you have to do to break it? Just get it on both sides before it's safe, and then get the merge conflict?
Yeah, what have I done to make it? Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I forgot to do, like, on one side the network was down, so the push failed, but I edited on the other side later. So there were, there were changes to the same file that weren't pushed that were conflicting. But then it just tells me, committing changes failed, but I don't lose anything. It's all still saved locally. The files are, this is an after save hook, so all the files are saved. So then I just, when the network comes back up, I do a git pull, and then do the usual merge stuff that you would do anyway.
Would you say that's a benefit of using this approach, besides the history? 'Cause I had two-way rsync set up, which gives you a lot of except version.
You accept it.
I've seen I would squash. I would wipe changes because
Exactly. I've always wondered about things like Dropbox, for example, right? They don't really have a way to handle merge conflicts, do they?
Yeah, but they just keep a conversion that's like conflicted and then the name of the
Right.
post that it was conflicted for. But it is really annoying. I've had that happen a couple times, and there's like 4 copies of the file that I have like 4.
And then how do you notice that it's happened, right?
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
it pretty much silently, so you have
Yeah.
to go in there and like, oh, the changes aren't here from the other place. Like I have to.
And then you panic, and then you realize it's okay. I mean, this thing at least tells me it failed, and so.
Have you looked into other version control systems like DARCs or something that get merge conflicts less frequently?
I haven't. I basically moved from an obscure version control system called Monotone, which has been around a long time and kind of invented a lot of the ideas that Torvalds picked up for Git, but it died. So then I switched to Git, and I swore I wasn't going to mess around with other version control systems again, for at least for a long time, because it seems like everyone's converging on Git. All right.
Oh, wait. Let me see. Were there any questions? W. Greenhouse asks, is there a public repo for replicate.el?
No, I just sent the gist, right? It's 19 lines, so
Oh, okay.
that should be enough.
So yeah, you just go copy that.
But it sounds like Git auto commit mode is actually probably the right thing to go for anyway. So.
Okay. And yeah, that was awesome.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, so